Hey pentesters, today we are joined by Kaijern Lau, innovative creator of the Signal SDR Pro, a compact but powerful software-defined radio that's winning the attention of red teamers and security researchers worldwide. We'll talk about the road from concept to crowdfunding, how the device stands out in a crowded SDR market, and what the future holds now that it's available through LAB401.com. As usual, don't forget to like, share and subscribe so you don't miss a video. Hi Kaijern, nice to meet you. Before we start with the questions, can you please present yourself and your company?
My history goes back to when I was doing a lot of open source project. Our first ever open source project into the community, it's 2015. That was our very first open source project. And I'm always in reverse engineering framework. So we released the compilation engine called called Capstone engine, and then it was 2013, sorry, and then 2015 we released an engine called Unicorn engine. So these are the few engines that we released to public, and then somewhere around 2019, so that was right before the COVID, right? So yeah, right before the it was so fun. It was right before the COVID, and it was right before the Ukraine-Russian war. So we released the project in San Sebastian. So that was in Russia. So everybody still can travel to Russia back then. We released a chilling framework. So it's so we have a Unicorn engine to emulate CPU, and then we have chilling framework to emulate binary, so that will be the CPU level, that will be the OS level. So along the way during COVID, we were like, okay, now we have all these things. So I started to mess with wireless signal, and apparently wireless is not something that you can't really emulate the signal, right? You have to capture, you have to do everything properly in order to get the wireless signal. So we were like, we need some sort of a framework that able to work with our hardware and software for us to get the analysis working in order for us to generate a proper wireless signal, to capture a wireless signal. Then only we can start to do our analysis, our research, and so on and so forth. So we bump into different kind of software-defined radio. So and then we started to see like it's either it's too big or too expensive. And we were like, all right, we need to figure something out. And one good point is, during the entire COVID period, I got stuck in this country that they can manufacture any single damn thing in the world, which is China, except microchip. So we started to look at different vendors and all these things, and we were like, we need to manufacture something for us to do our wireless research. Then only we figured out, all right, so then that is something that we need to do. So we started to research the project, and then until now 2024-25, that is the time that we decided, all right, this product is mature enough, then we should release to the world. So we registered the company, we registered trademark and everything, and that is where Signalens and Signal SDR Pro comes from.
Congratulations on your crowdfunding campaign. With over 2,000% of your goal achieved, would you consider it a success? And what were some challenges you faced during this journey?
This is the first time we ever commercialized hardware. You know, like what I told you just now, we were doing open source project, and it was a very successful open source project. The past the one that we released on 2013, 2015, and then the one we released on 2019, it was like a very successful project. All the software development exploits project, you always can see our framework at the end of at the back of the research. So this is the first time that we need to try to build something that send out to somebody, to the end users, for them to actually hold it, to test it. So I think one of the things is we did screw up certain things, right? All the small little things that we learned from the project. we learned that a lot of products that comes out from Shenzhen, they solder with lead. So we have a batch, and then we need to redo the entire batch before we send it out, and then we need to do all the certificates checks and all these things, like the CE mark and all these things. So that was the thing that we really need to focus on, and then it did took us quite some time to figure out where do we get the CE mark and all these things. So, and then right after we get all these things, then only we discovered, we need to sell the product. And when we sell the product, it was like, where should we sell? So we found a crowd supply, and then we were like, crowdfunding could be one of the source that we need to do. And once we finish everything on the crowdfunding, like what you mentioned just now, we have over 2,000% of a success. Right before the week we send out the product, the tariff happens. So again, we waited, and then we tried to negotiate how we can fix the tariff and all these things. Apparently, the tariff came out. They announced it was like 2nd April, right after April Fool, and then they announced everything, and then suddenly they stopped, and then they changed, they stopped, and then suddenly they came out with the idea that we should not charge tariff on all the electronics goods. Then that is the moment that we were like, okay, let's ship it. So it was not the technical part, it was all the business decisions and all these things, the timing. It was a fun journey.
How do you envision the partnership with LAB401 enhancing the reach and impact of the Signal SDR Pro?
The reason why we chose to work with LAB401, apparently you have a lot of distributors and all these things outside, right? And then why we are so eager to work with LAB401, it's we know that LAB401 got a very strong background on hacking gadgets. So that is the thing, that is one of the partnership that we would like to look for. We don't want to look for a partner that just help us to sell and then try to take our products and sell. We wanted a partner to have a more stronger tie and relationship to help us to understand the product more, to promote the product more, and then able to create a local community. I think that is what LAB401 strong at, right? You have your own local community, you have your own warehouse and all these things, and then you're able to engage with the end user to build certain projects and all these things. So I think we will have a very good relationship and a very strong tie between Signalens and LAB401 for Signal SDR Pro proper launch, and to tie a better tie with the community.
The Signal SDR Pro has a form factor similar as a Raspberry Pi. What inspired you this design?
Let's put it this way, right? When we carry out any traditional software-defined radio, it's always a very bulky piece of hardware. But when it's good for lab, right? It's good for laboratory, it's good for office, it's good for whatever things you wanted to do in the uni, in the office, right? But sometimes you just want to test out how powerful the product is. So you wanted to do these things in Starbucks, right? In coffee shop and all these things, and you don't want to get too much attention. You just don't want people to come to you and look at the big pile of hardware you have right in front of you in Starbucks, and what the hell are you doing? Are you trying to do something bad? You are doing something bad, but you don't want people to tell you that you are doing something bad, right? So we want so that is one of the things that we wanted to build something like that small. Raspberry Pi size will not be a very good way to describe it, but a credit card size software-defined radio would definitely be a proper name for that.
What stands out is that the device can emulate other SDRs like the ADLM Pluto and the USRP B210. How do you think this versatility benefits users?
This is a fairly new device, right? So we don't want to push it up to the market, and then we need to expect a lot of people to build a lot of software supports around the products. So we wanted to build something that able to adapt to the environment, able to adapt into the SDR world straight away and automatically. So to make it able to run Pluto SDR and USRP 210 firmware. That is the idea that we wanted to put in. So things like GNU radio and all these things, they don't have to change their code. They just can use the piece of small and strong hardware in order to run their whatever software and whatever scripts that they have built, over the years for their projects.
When you open the box, you have tons of accessories like antennas, SIM cards. Everything is included. What kind of projects can users embark on immediately after unboxing?
Speaking of this, it's one of the decisions that we have been arguing a long time among ourselves before we release the product to the public. We were like, do we need to ship the hardware, just the hardware, or we need to include everything that people wanted to do? So one of the things that people bought a USRP B210 is they wanted to test a 5G network. So in order for you to test a 5G network, you need to have a 5G antenna, you need to have a SIM card, and then you need to have all these USB cable and all these things, right? So apparently if we ship a product without all this antenna and a SIM card, user will not be able to test the 5G that they wanted to test, right? That I think that is one of the cool things that you have SDR. You can build your own home-based 5G network. So if you wanted to play with these things, you don't have an antenna, you don't have a blank SIM card, you don't have a SIM card tools to write the SIM card, then that is something that you cannot test. So what will happen is you buy a product and then you need to spend like another month for you to source the antenna, for you to source the SIM card, and then the blank SIM card and the SIM card writer. That will be another money that you're going to spend and another effort that you want to spend, right? So we decided to include into the product. So once the user get the product, they will be able to test the 5G capability or the 5G emulation capability out from the box.
The Signal SDR Pro is started as the most affordable tool for 5G penetration testing. Could you please elaborate a little bit on its capabilities in this area?
5G penetration testing is not something that we are focused on. Let's put it this way, right?
Okay.
So software-defined radio, it's a piece of hardware that you need to write your own software to empower the hardware. So that is what they call software-defined radio. So let me give you an example, right? So I mean, if the audience, you have an old enough audience, you still remember that we have a phone with buttons, right? So if you decided to add a new feature, so let's say one of the old phones, during those days, you want to add a new feature called redial the previous number that you have dialed. You need to remanufacture the phone to add a new button and then to ship it out to the user. So that is during the olden days. So what do we have nowadays is, now you have cell phone, you have all the software interface. So in order for you to have a redial button, you just need to change the software part. So any modern cell phones that you have right now, you can call it a software-defined phone. So a software-defined radio should not focus only on 5G penetration testing or whatsoever. So it should focus on how you program the hardware for you to do the things that you wanted to do. So apparently when we tried to ship out Signal SDR Pro, then we realized that the researchers in Singapore, they started to look at, they started to open source their tools to do 5G penetration testing. We were like, wow, seems like the timing is so good, and then we should maybe to include the tutorial, all these things into our official website, that let people know they're able to do 5G penetration testing with our device.
How does the Signal SDR Pro integrates with tools like 5G UL for 5G fuzzing and testing?
So it goes back to the previous conversation. So we don't support 5G Gold by intention, right? The only reason why people can run a 5G Go in Signal SDR Pro is we do support USRP B210 capability. So whatever things that 5G Go pass to us, 5G Go will think that the user is connecting to USRP B210. So this is the the design and the feedback we wanted to give it to the user. So like what I mentioned just now, the user have tools that they have been building for years, and they are so used to these few tools that they have been using for years, right? So whenever they change a more powerful hardware, they change a more smaller hardware, they should keep whatever software habits that they have, like 5G Go and all these things that they have developing. And then the software the hardware should be a transparent part for them. So this is the entire design.
Can you shed light on the choice of the AD9361 transceiver and the Zynq 7020 FPGA in a device?
Well, I think firstly we don't have too much choice, right? AD9361 and then the Zynq 720 is one of the industrial standard that people have been using for years. So I think it's a very proven solutions. We don't want to take any risks for user to to risk their projects and all these things. So we choose a very mature solutions and then a powerful enough chips to design the product. I think that's the entire idea that why we choose these two chips.
The inclusion of a GPS disciplined oscillator is impressive. How does this feature enhance the device's performance?
It will not enhance the it will not enhance the device performance, but you can do more interesting things by using the GPS features that built into the hardware. So we have one user. He started to look at the possibility to have multiple units of Signal SDR Pro that connects to a GPS, and they can share data between these. So let's say he tried to triangulate 3 units, and then he will be able to capture the drones coordinations, and then where's the drones actually located, to map out the drones flying capability, and then he will be able to find out who's the user, who's the one that flying the drone, and where does the drone actually stops and fly, and where's the drone's actual location. So these are the few things that the inspiration from the end users that they started to play with the GPS capabilities and Signal SDR Pro.
From what I understand, the Signal SDR Pro supports 2x2 MIMO with full-duplex capabilities. How does this benefit complex signal operations?
Right. So just now when we mentioned about the more economical SDR solutions out there, they have they have 1x1, and then they have a half duplex capability. But when we try to build this product, we decided to have a full duplex 2x2 MIMO support, so user can build a bit more things, right? They can build their very own Wi-Fi standards at home if they wanted to do that. So they can use open Wi-Fi and all these things to build a full-blown Wi-Fi capability by using a Signal SDR Pro. So it will be more imaginations and more creativity for the users to build the product.
Talking about community, there's a growing community around the Signal SDR Pro. How do you see this community influencing future developments?
Yes, we started to see a little bit user try to ask more questions and try to throw in their creativity into the project. They started to ask, like what I mentioned just now, one of the users they decided to have 2 or 3 units of a Signal SDR Pro to do a drone location. I mean, it's quite easy to identify where's the drone, but if you want to find out who is the actual guy that flying the drone and where's the guy hiding, that will be something that you need to analyze the signal and try to find out where's the user, all these things. So by using a triangulate way, then the user able to find. And then of course 5G fuzzing will be one, and then we started to have user try to commit code into the projects. So it really helped us to understand more, what does the community wants, and then what kind of the hardware does the community wants. So these are the few things that we try to help the we try to answer the community, or we can try to to educate the entire SDR community on how SDR should work and how it should develop more in the future.
Beyond the professional use, how can you see the Signal SDR Pro server as a learning platform for students and hobbyists?
Okay, so one thing, right, when it comes to educational purposes, you need this thing to be slightly you need this thing to be a slightly more affordable for hobbies and students, right? So I think one of the good things that we do is we reduce the cost, and then it'll be more accessible for hobbies and students. And then I think the other thing is we do have enough information all the way from the schematics to code is all open source to the user. So from people that wants to learn how to build software-defined radio to how to use a software-defined radio and how to try to find certain bugs in certain kind of radio signal. I think we do have enough documentations and all these things to help them to develop their skills step by steps. So it's either from students or hobbies. It will be good enough to for them to learn software-defined radio and try to establish their skills and so on and so forth.
Are there any upcoming features or projects that you're excited about that you would like to share with us?
I think one of the projects that we are working on, it's we already work with a third-party vendor. So the idea it's so just now we talked about Pluto SDR, right? So Pluto SDR is one of the very famous SDR out there. I mean, from the price point and the software support and all these things. The only thing is the official support, it's pretty much outdated. I think they're still on Linux kernel 2.4, and nowadays we are on Linux kernel 6.14, 6.15, right? So what this group of people does is they try to rebuild the entire Linux kernel. They try to build all the advanced features that try to pack into a Pluto SDR. And then we started to work with this community that, you know, we try to commit code, and then we try to put in support for Signal SDR, so for them to have a stronger base and all these things to run this kind of firmware. So I think this is one of the things that once they merge their code and they release to the public, then we will have a more stronger version of entry model and easy to use software for Signal SDR Pro. So I think this is one of the big things that we are working right now.
My last question will be, is there anything else you'd like to share about the Signal SDR Pro or your journey with Signalens?
Definitely, I think for 2025 and 2026 is we wanted to have a little bit more products here and there. So we haven't decided on, we have few products in hand. We haven't decided on which product that we want to push out. So I think one of the extra product, which is the newest product that we will push it out, is on early 2026. That is one of the product. I mean, it's not to replace Signal SDR Pro, but it could be a lower end version for Signal SDR Pro. That is something that we can tell you right now.
Well, thank you, Kaijern, for sharing your insights and exciting developments around the Signal SDR Pro. And for our viewers eager to get their hands on this versatile SDR, visit LAB401.com, the proud exclusive distributor of the Signal SDR Pro. And once again, visit LAB401.com, your pentesting tools distributor, always with the best service and the best price. Take care, and see you next time.